Hi, welcome to your daily stretch for your hips. Today's class is going to be a beautiful way to stretch into your hips. It's one of the things I do almost every day to wind down after a lot of madness that I put my body through during the practice of the day. My hips get really tight, but I do have really tight hips as well. So the regular way of stretching doesn't work for me. So I figured out this works really well. So if you have tight hips, or if you're just looking for something new to wind yourself down, find a bit of chill, welcome. This should work really well for you. So first things first, bum finds the mat. Take your right foot out. So take it nice and straight. I'm gonna take my left foot and take it in kind of actually you can bring your right foot in. It makes it a little easier. So take your left foot out. So it's a bit of a 90. So my femur, my thigh, is pretty much parallel to the front of the mat. My shin is in a 90 degree to my femur. And I take my right leg out as far as I can. And since my hips are pretty tight, I can't lean forward. Maybe you can, so please don't let me restrict you in the position. This is where I feel most of the stretch and a sense of ease. So please feel free to find what works for you. If you can lean forward, lean forward. Otherwise, take your hands back. Even if you want to get all the way down, perfectly okay. Find a stretch that works for you. So all I'm working on is I'm twisting my left hip. You can see it's a very subtle movement. I'm twisting my left hip forward and backward, trying to loosen up the femur. Feel that rotation rolling around. There's a pull in my fascia on the front of my left foot, so I can feel that. I can also feel my left hip. The internal rotation is talking to me. So it's one of the really beautiful stretches that I used to never do until I started stretching this way. And I've noticed my hips suddenly have so much more space after stretching into these angles, into these new spaces. Normally I would just take a pigeon and stretch on the outside of my hip, but something was missing. So I hope you find something new as well. Just keep rolling your femur in your hip sockets, especially if you spend a lot of time standing, you should feel really good. And then keeping everything as it is, you can, to whatever degree, lean forward into your hamstring stretch. You can bounce around a little bit. I use my right hand because if I don't, I'm just going to plop up to my right side. So you can do you again. If you have no space in your left hip, you can be all the way down. You can be pancaked in the middle of your feet. So you do what works for you, what works for you in your practice. I find a good amount of stretch in this place, so I like to bounce around, I like to move around a little bit. My hamstrings feel really nice. They don't feel too overstretched. And the moving around really helps. Don't forget to breathe, even though we're moving, the breath is fluid. You should fill up your stomach as much as you can. Inhale. On the exhale, you can sigh. So if any points get a little tight, you can hold. So take a deep inhale. An audible sigh. I feel that in my hamstrings, so when I exhale, it feels good. So inhale with me. And exhale with a sigh. Maybe you let something go. And now, let's start turning over my right foot. So, this feels amazing. So the more I push my left knee down, that gives me more space to twist. So I'm pressing my left knee as I twist and look over my right shoulder. This is a really deep stretch. You also get into the side body quite a bit. But if you keep pressing your left knee down, you notice that your right hip suddenly has space to move. So it's an external rotation of the right hip and external rotation of the left hip. I hope I'm getting that right. I've always twisted up, so pardon me if I make any mistakes. The left and right. Maybe try and turn and look over your right shoulder. You try and spot your left foot, your left heel. It's an active stretch, so press your right foot down into the ground. Press your left knee into the ground. Breathing into your left and right side body. One more breath. Exhale, come back to center, super slow. Just keeping everything as it is. If you're still here, wonderful. And now, I'm trying to turn over my left foot and catch it. This is really intense for me. So if this is easy for you, go to a space that you find something new. I'm just trying to keep my chest up, trying to keep my spine a little more upright, while I'm trying to use my left hand to hold onto my left foot. My hips talk to me when I'm doing this. You can always place your hands down and try and twist. That's what's perfectly okay. Notice what works for you today. A few deep breaths, we're almost done. And let it go. Take your hand, help your left foot forwards. Shake it out. Maybe your left knee feels brand new compared to your right. Mine definitely does. So I'm going to turn around just to face you better. You don't have to. You can stay as you are. So bend your right knee. Again, we're going to take the right foot in a 90 degrees. So my thigh, my femur is parallel to the front of the back of your mat, depending which side you face it. My shin, my right shin, is at 90 degrees. And my left foot goes out long. So I'm creating a 90-degree angle between my left foot and my right foot. So if you notice that, that's the space you want to get into. Yeah, I'm going to take my hands back. I'm just have a roll in my right femur in my socket, in the hip socket. Notice what that feels. Maybe one side is a little easier, more spacious than the other side. Maybe you get into one side a little easier. But it's not a problem, it's just how it should be. So take a few breaths, keep moving. Find that space before we stretch into anything, before we stay. I've always noticed this really helps me lube up the joints. Like I feel my fluid in my pelvis start to build every time I move within these spaces. And now you can reach forward over the left hamstring. Just bounce around a little bit. Still pressing into your right knee as you bounce into your left leg. Find a few breaths as you bounce. Make this fluid. Again, if you can lean forward, if you can pancake in between your feet, be my guest. You can do whatever you like. It's your practice. Don't let me restrict you. My hips do not allow me to do that, so there's no reason why you shouldn't. If your body and mind permits. Take a few breaths, feel the length in your left hamstring. Maybe you can hold as you find a deeper space. You might find more space if you press your left heel into the ground. And now I'm going to turn over my left foot, pressing my left heel to the ground, pressing my right knee to the ground. As I twist over, I'm trying to squat my right heel as I look over my left shoulder. There's so much going on here. This feels really nice. I feel a good twist in my side body as well. A bit of a bonus, but I'm still pressing into my right knee and into my left heel. So I feel my left hip roll open. It's an active stretch. You can move around a little bit if you like. Looking over your left shoulder, trying to spot your right heel. Maybe you feel a nice little stretch in your neck as well. Trying to get you into the spaces. Maybe 2 more breaths. And this beautiful stretch. If any of these stretches call out to you, you can always just pause the video. Stay in it as long as you want, and then come out of it. And on your next exhale, come back to the center, keeping the legs as they are. And now, turn over your right knee, pressing it down, and try and catch your right foot. While maybe keeping your chest a little higher up. Feel that stretch. It's a little intense for me. Actually, little is an understatement. Oh, well, this one talks to me. But stretching into the space has really opened my hip and given me so much of new space to play with. So give it the time and space it deserves. Find your breath. Almost done. Maybe a breath or 2 more. Notice where your body can go. Take a deep inhale, last one. Exhale, let it go. Take your legs forward. Wow. Hopefully your legs feel more balanced out. Hopefully your hips feel more balanced out. Shake them. Move them around. Maybe just take a cross-leg seat. Notice if you can sit. All the stretches, all that stuff we do, at the end of the day, it's just so that we can have a seat, right? I feel so much better. My hips are opened up. I have space in my side body. My hamstrings feel longer. I hope you do too. This is a wonderful stretch to end your day with. You can always take a savasana. I highly recommend it. Take your savasana for about 3 minutes. Lay down. Take some time for you. Let everything come back. Let the hips reset. And take it easy. So if you're having a tough time sleeping, this might help. It helps me. This is how I stretch, and then I go to bed. And I yawn right after. So I hope you do too. Well, thank you for practicing with me. This has been a wonderful series. I've really enjoyed stretching with you. You can come back to these classes anytime, and yeah, the more you stretch, the better you feel, and you have more space to work. So thank you so much. Thank you so much for practicing with me. Have a wonderful day. My name is Mario. Peace.